without surrender or defeat. This is our story.
When I first came to HMS Hector, it was because I was introduced to the former CO, now Admiral Brawley, and I was a little reluctant because I was basically coming off a hiatus after I moved out to the DC area from Wisconsin. Hadn't been involved in the organization actively for over a year, and I wasn't really sure what to make of coming back into the organization and being part of a new chapter. It was the first time that I'd really made a change when I was in the organization. Now that I've been with Hector for almost 2 years, I'd like to share my perspective because I've seen the organization from a different fleet, from a different duty position, and I'm really proud of how Hector stacks up, and I'm really convinced that Hector should be the 2018 Black Sphinx Cup champion. In my previous life, the hat that I wore was the fleet Senior Master Chief Petty Officer for 2nd Fleet. So I've had the privilege of being around some people who are incredibly committed to TRMN as an organization, and I've seen a number of very, very, very good ships and crews. I would take this core group of folks on the HMS Hector and stack them up against any other single ship in TRMN. And I think they are at least the equals of those folks, and they deserve that recognition. The reason I believe that so strongly is very simple. The crew of the Hector is committed to TRMN as an organization, the principles it stands for. They're committed to First Fleet, they're committed to the ship, and they're committed to each other. Everything that TRMN stands for as an organization you find on HMS Hector. There are other ships and crews that do great work. A lot of them get a lot of attention. There are some ships that are just known. I think HMS Hector kind of flies under the radar sometimes. But when you look at the fact that this ship has won the Fleet E 3 years running, it's clear that the folks on board are doing something right. And they, I think, in my opinion, deserve greater recognition for that exact fact, that they stand for everything that TRMN stands for. When I first came to TRMN, I had never been to a convention before. In 2018, I went to MantaCon, I went to SphinxCon, I even went up to Montreal's Comic-Con as a First Fleet representative to help recruit potentially a new organization there. I've done gaming sits at Admiral Schulman's house. I've done our ship meetings, whether it's monthly coffees or other events. The simple fact is, everything that we want ships to do, Hector does. And I hope that you look at this collectively and make the decision that Hector is worthy of that recognition across all of TRMN. Thank you.
I'm Captain Lee Smith. I am CO of the HMS Hector. And first off, I just have to say that I could not be prouder of my ship without exploding in joy. This ship has won the Black Sphinx Challenge for the First Fleet for the last 3 years in a row. I don't know how many other ships and how many of the fleets could say that they've won their fleet 3 years in a row. But it's not just about the cup, it's not just about the challenge, it's not just about all the things that we do as a ship. It's the fact that whenever anyone needs someone to work security at a convention, or if there's an emergency at a convention, or if somebody wants to do some gaming, or if somebody just needs a hand in the middle of the night, someone in my crew is going to step up and say, I'll do it. I'll take that shift, or I'll work that con, or I'll GM your game, or I'll teach you how to play sits, and that's not something that I think every ship can say. I have people on my ship that represent every facet of the TRMN. I have Navy, I have Marines, I have civilians, I have an IAN person, an Andromani, I have Graysons, I have tree cats, I have lots of tree cats. I also have a very, very large flag country, because First Fleet's flag people tend to live on the Hector. Rear Admiral Schulman, Rear Admiral Paquette, Admiral Broly, John Stout just recently moved his flag from the Hector to the Penelope, but for a very long time we were the flagship of First Fleet. And I think that shows in the energy that my crew brings to everything that they do, whether it's a reading challenge or a gaming day or working at a con or giving blood or recruiting people who just walked in off the street not even knowing anything about the TRMN. And that to me is what represents the essence of the TRMN. That to me is what represents everything that we aspire to be. And for that reason, maybe not that reason alone, but certainly for that is the majority reason. That's why I truly believe, not just because I'm its CO, but I truly believe that Hector is the best ship, not just in First Fleet, but in the entirety of the TRMN. So let's be about it.
A couple years ago, I decided to attend this convention in Raleigh, HonorCon. I'd never heard of the Honor Harrington books, had only read David Weber and Steve White's Starfire series. So I was interested to check out the authors that had written those books I enjoy. Went and attended and was impressed to be introduced to this group, the Royal Manticoran Navy. I've never been a member of any fan group, even though I've been a sci-fi and book fan my whole life, and was just taken with the energy and the enthusiasm of the members I met there. Captain Lee Smith, which is so gracious and recruited me into the ship, found out there was a ship very close to where I live, and was enthralled with the Grayson Space Navy. The members of Hector have made me feel so friendly to be a part, and I immediately was impressed by the energy and the warmth in the group, and just how many activities they're involved in. So every month we're meeting for coffee and gaming meetups, and we've done fun runs, we've gone to Renaissance fairs. So I've just been so impressed by the members of the crew, and just think the HMS Hector is the finest ship in the TRMN.
When I joined TRMN, I knew nothing about chapters and fleets and ships and stuff like that. I was just looking for something I could be a little social with, because I'm very introverted, and talk to some people who like a book series I'd started to like. And from my very first event, which was a barbecue, I met the warmest people who went out of their way to talk to me as the newbie. I had brought this silly game, Exploding Kittens, and two people sat down with me and played the game because I'd never played it. I had just gotten it. And that made me feel really welcome. And then talking to these people and finding out all of the things that they do for TRMN, which I honestly didn't even know anything about any of this. I knew there was a butane and there was something about tests, and I'd taken one. But there are so many people in the Hector who are involved in these things, and they are talking about it, and they're excited and telling other people the possibilities and all of that. It led me right into being a part of the wider organization. And that's a very big difference from my original intention, which was just this very small little, I'm going to just, do my own little thing over here and read books and talk to people about books. But now I go to conventions, and I'm in the Bureau of Communications and all these other things where I'm engaging with people from literally all over the world. I would not have had any of those opportunities if I had not landed in the Hector, which goes out of its way to try and help its people be active and a true and deep part of the organization. The Hector means a lot to me, a great deal to me, and I'm very proud to be a member, the crew of the HMS Hector.
Okay, so Hector's just a space for us to come together and be just a ship that does stuff, and we hang out, and it's a person thing. So, and they've got coffee, so we drink a lot of coffee, but we do it together. Sometimes we're gaming, sometimes we're not. But when we do work, we're working together, and that's just important. So.
Okay, I have to be serious with you. I like the Hector because, to be honest, they make me feel sane. Because they're so crazy.
I joined the TRMN about a year and a half ago. My husband had joined earlier. He'd read the books before I had and encouraged me to get involved. And I will admit I was reluctant at first. I'd read the books and I liked them very much, but I'd never really been in a fan club before and wasn't sure if it was really going to be a thing for me. But I will admit I'm very glad that I did, because I have met some very wonderful people and been to some very wonderful events as part of HMS Hector. We've really enjoyed being a part of the Hector. We went in November in Florida to visit Big Cat Rescue and see the work that the TRMN overall is doing to help out the wild and endangered cats of the world. And that was a really fabulous place. And I seriously encourage anyone who finds themselves in Central Florida to go and visit. It was a beautiful place with beautiful animals. At any rate, the Hector is a great ship. I've had a great time getting to know everyone here, and I hope that we win the Black Sphinx Cup, because the people here have worked very hard to achieve everything that they have and to be good representatives for the TRMN. So, thank you very much.
All right, hello. I'm Terry Street. I'm a Fleet Marine Force corpsman aboard the HMS Hector. I guess I'm one of those schizophrenic types. I'm in the Navy, but I like playing with the Marines. You're probably going to hear a lot about what all the other ships have done. You've heard a lot from the people on board our ships, as well as to what we do on a regular basis. We do have meetings. We do participate in challenges. We do go out and do a lot of stuff to help represent TRMN. But I think the one thing that's really different about this ship is the amount of interaction we have even outside of those events. Even in preparing for today, there was a lot of traffic about, well, I might not be able to make it because I either have to work or the bad weather. And I think what makes the Hector different is the close-knit nature of the crew. The fact that one person can say, I have a need, and another person will say, hey, I can help you fill that, is what makes us a little bit different and what makes us stronger, I think, as a ship. And I think that is part of the reason, or is part and parcel of the reason why HMS Hector has taken the fleet challenge. And I also think that gives us an edge in terms of the other ships that are part of TRMN as well. Hopefully you'll give serious consideration to the Hector and letting us take it all. We do lots of good work. There are great people on this ship. And I'll pass it on to the next person.
When I first heard about the TRMN, I'd been talking with some of my friends, and they had been trying to convince me to join as a Marine, so that I could help them fill out a MARDIT. I pulled a quick one on them, unfortunately, I guess, and joined as a Navy member. Since then, we've changed from the article to the Hector, and I've gotten to know the people a lot better, and get to enjoy time gaming and going to conventions, going out to different activities. We've been to some museums together. It's been a lot of fun. Most recently, I've gone into being an officer. I keep getting told that I really drank the Kool-Aid for that. At this point, we have and we continue to try to do the best to be good examples of what TRMN means in helping others, in joining together in a fellowship that shares ideals and dedication, I guess. But what I really want to show is that I think that these people, as the XO now, I think deserve to have the recognition for having done such great work repeatedly to get in for the Black Sphinx Cup and to win it for our fleet over and over and over. And I want and hope that you all can see that we really should take it all for our efforts.
Dragus, may I hold that phone for just a moment, if you don't mind?
Sure. What's up?
Get him, guys!
Hey, wait. What? Oof.
Now, if 10th Fleet would like their Chief of Operations back, we need 10 pounds of Ghirardelli chocolate and all your Swedish fish.
All the Swedish fish.
Or you're never getting it back. We're gonna keep it.
Bye, Admiral. It's been fun.
A quick postscript, because I sort of forgot this when I left my message. Because this is really about the Black Sphinx Cup, I would be remiss if I didn't point out that in our ship's challenges this year, in our fleet's challenges this year, other members of the ship were really instrumental in recommending to me when we did the gunnery challenge that I read Marco Clues. And I'm absolutely excited to have gone through all of his books during the gunnery challenge, especially since he's a TRMN member also. And along with those, John Scalzi's Old Man's War series. I mean, to have other people around me say, hey, go do that, and then have it be something that I really enjoyed that much. Big thing. And when we did our marksmanship challenge, I think I mentioned this, I had never, ever sat down at the table and even looked at sits before. And to have folks who understood the game introduce me to it in a way that makes it not as overbearing or cumbersome as it might be. So I'll come back and play sits again in the future. And again, that's because of other members of my crew. And so, you know, if we're really concerned about the spirit of the challenges, this ship succeeds. Thank you.
HMS Hector, without surrender or defeat. Let's give